Hey, good morning, guys. This is Reza here from Budget Audio Reviews. Today, I'll be bringing you a hopefully quick review under 10 minutes with regards to the BGVP Zero. Okay, so this guys here has been very difficult for me at the beginning to put a finger on it. Initially, my initial comments on Instagram was a little bit harsh when I compared it to the TRN BA5. But again, I still stand true with regards to that post about how if you're looking for airy, airy vocals, mid-forward vocals, vocals with a bit more micro details, and that sense of a transparency, then the TRN BA5 is your truly no BS. No BS IEM right now with regards from price to value ratio, because the BA5 is still quite a fair bit cheaper in terms of price versus the BGVP Zero. So initially when I listened to the Zero, I was not used to its tone, but again, this thing took me quite a bit of time to kind of get used to it and understand what its tuning is all about. So to sum it up, if you have no time to watch this video within this first 1 to 2 minutes, I will use Aristotle's quote, which is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So meaning, if you're just looking at specific details and parts of the BGVP Zero with regards to its bass, to its mids, to its trebles, to its soundstage, those things on its own do not stand out, but together, when you put all those things together, this thing truly is a piece of art. I can't seem to put this thing down over the past couple of days. I will go through later with you my pain points with the BGVP Zero, what made it so difficult for me to enjoy and like it. I'll just go through that in a short while, but right now let me just go through the positive benefits of the BGVP Zero. Alright, before we begin, I want to thank Audio Sound from Singapore. They are a local retailer and they are the official distributor of BGVP IEMs in Singapore. So thank you so much, Audio Sound. It's been a pleasure working with you. You're so kind to share with me this review unit. I've taken a lot of time with this guy because initially there was so much to not like about it, but right now I'm starting to see why it's designed a certain way. Okay, alright. Why I don't like it? Number one, it's got a weird fit. Through the pictures that I'll be showing you, you will see that there's a funny bump on the IEM right here. So that bump on my ears caused some discomfort. Alright, so it took a while with me tip rolling, switching tips, adjusting, keeping, trying to find the best fit this IEM has in my ear, and it took me, it's almost about a week and a half plus or so, trying to understand how to fit this thing properly in my ear. So right now I've decided on using the Kinara SIF medium silicone tip. So these white tips here, they have that texture that's just about right for my ears, not too soft, not too hard. It tunes down the bass quite a bit, and then it elevates the mids, the upper mids a bit more to give a bit more air to the sound. My test track usually for IEMs right now so far has been Eva Cassidy's live at Blues Alley, Autumn Leaves. So that track is good because it may not be the best recording quality, but it's recorded in a very, very cool place. It's like in a small pub. You can hear plates clinking in the background. And the miking of Eva Cassidy's voice is pretty good. You get to hear the highs, the tone of her voice when she pulls and stretches at about 410 to 419. So on some IEMs, you get that sort of blaring sound, which is quite irritating to your ears. Whereas the BGVP Zero, it rolls off and cuts off just before the peak of a voice gets blary and a bit harsh for your ear. So comparing to maybe even the BA5, between 410 to 419, that part of the song in Autumn Leaves, it gets quite hard on the ears. This one, not so. Okay, the merits of the BGVP Zero so far, what I do like about it is, number one, it has a very similar holographic soundstage, just like the Senfer DT6. So we've been discussing this a lot on the NBBA group on Facebook. So one way to put it is the BGVP Zero is like an upgraded version of the DT6. So it's a lot smoother than the DT6. The mids is a lot, I would say creamy to say. I would say the overall delivery of the Zero is smoother. The DT6 has some hard edges. Trebles can be a little bit, just mildly sibilant, just a little bit. But it's okay for the price and value. The Sanford DT6 is awesome for Eva Cassidy's album Live at Blues Alley. But coming back down to something that's a little bit more multi-purpose, that you can use through varied genres, and a little bit more natural timbre and tone. Maybe some of the guys use this phrase called tonality coherence. Alright, so I think the whole tone of the BGP Zero gives me the feeling that I'm listening to something natural, something real, something non-metallic, because I was just comparing these guys to the CCA CA16 and these guys yesterday critically through Metallica's SNM2, and again Eva Cassidy's album. The CCA CA16 comes off still with that metallic sheen to the sound and a little bit hollow. These guys, they are fuller. You have a fuller sound, you have a more complete sound. The soundstage is not, the CA16 soundstage is wide laterally this way, but it has little height and depth. So the BGVP Zero, in terms of soundstage, it is wide enough. It is not ultra wide like the CA16. It is wide enough. It's almost like this U shape that you hear in front of you this way, and then you have a ceiling height that's about something like this. So at points of times, you can hear instruments that say violins, strings, that's placed slightly above these regions here, which is quite unique. I like that idea that I may be sitting in a hall where the performers are up on a stage slightly and the instruments are just slightly above me. So the BGP Zero gives that sense of, the term called holographic soundstage. It's really hard to talk about holographic soundstage if it's just IEMs. If you're talking about speaker systems, maybe a Dolby Surround, THX, whatever, those things give you real ideas of a virtual stage. But the Zero, with IEMs, it's all just in your head, but that stage is created within your head space, within your brain space, behind the eyes and behind the brain here. So I think that's quite cool in terms of brilliant design, either within the acoustic chamber of the IEM or in terms of the drivers. But again, this electrostatic driver is fairly unique. It's got a unique smoothness to the sound. Do not expect good deep thumping sub bass. You will not get it with the BGPV Zero, but you do get a bit thicker, fuller sounds, warm, dark, but not losing the edges of your trebles where you lose significant details. You still can get good significant details on the BGVP Zero. So if you listen to Jurassic Park theme, if you listen to, again, back to Eva Cassidy's Autumn Leaves album, you still get to hear all the details of the guitars, all the details of the percussions, all the details of the strings, the details of the air of the voice, the timbre of the voice. So this thing is unique because it's got that likable sensation that I want to come back to it. It's not hard on my ears. Maybe age is catching up. I get really uncomfortable with very deep bass. I get very uncomfortable with very high highs. So maybe the target market of the BGP Zero is for somebody like me in their 40s, maybe 40s, 50s, early 60s. I'm not quite sure. So if you want to talk about tuning, maybe we'll talk about this tuning as a more relaxed tuning, not neutral. It's relaxed, it's laid back, and it has a sensation that you can just chill and enjoy that the music. The only issue I will have with the Zero still again is a comfort issue. You do have to get that fit and spend about a minute plus fiddling around, or even sometimes after a couple of minutes, especially if you're walking. I want to use this when I'm moving about in the day, traveling from home to work. That takes about 45 minutes, and along the way while you're moving and you're walking, you still have to adjust a little bit. That's my current pain point of the Zero. But other than that, it's great. If you're sitting at home, it's fantastic. My review for IEMs mostly are based on usage with a mobile phone and how easy it is to drive with a mobile phone. I try not to talk about IEMs with it being amped, because the nature of the IEMs change under my current desktop setup, which is the Schiit Modi 3, Schiit Heresy, and of course through the tube buffer, the FX Audio Tube 03. Now with that, the BGVP 0 gets a lot bigger, a lot larger, the sound. So you know, it has good potential with amping, with a good DAC and all that on the desktop setup, but you know, that becomes less portable with this guy. But I do have to tell you that I'm using the LG V30. So the LG V30 is has a fairly good DAC on it. It's a fairly good amp on it, so I could drive comfortably the BGVP 0 at about good listenable levels from volume 48 to about 55/75. So that's okay. You know, I don't have to max out the volume on my mobile phone for this guy. I'm running Tidal on, you know, the highest quality possible. I download the tracks on my phone if I'm moving outside. If at home, I can just let it stream over Wi-Fi. That's not a problem. So all IEMs is dependent on how well it can be driven for me, for my own purpose and use on the mobile phone. So the BGVP 0 for now drives well on LG V30. Honestly, I've not tried on my Samsung, so just be warned, maybe you might have to spend a few dollars more to get a tiny USB DAC amp or the USB dongle DAC amp that you can run through your mobile phone and push these guys a little bit more. So okay guys, so on the as a summary, the BGVP 0, this is the second video that I'm not doing. I'm not publishing the first one because I realized, you know, I've not put my thoughts well together about the 0. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most excellent listening, user experience, whatever I can have with particular headphones or earphones, you know, as a reference in terms of comfort, sound quality and all that, the TRN BA5, I'll rate it at, say, you know, at a 8/10. In terms of comfort, it's very comfortable. The sound is great on the BA5, 8.5/10. The 0 will be about a 7.5. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed watching this video with me, you know, rambling on about the BGVP 0 and how good it is and what's not good about it, do hit that like, share and subscribe to the channel. I'll try and follow up with another one about the BGVP 0, probably about how it's running on my ShitStack and the FX Audio on my desktop. Thanks again, see you real soon. I've got to go now.